Back at you with another lesson. First of all, I'm going to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rakakwadash, that belongs to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone, teaching all truth and sincerity. And this lesson is going to be called Esau, Serpent in the Garden. Esau, Serpent in the Garden, the devil. So let's go to Genesis 3. Start at 1. Now the serpent, which is Esau, which is spiritually, metaphorically, parabolically talking about Esau, a man, was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord Yahweh, God, had made. And he said unto the woman, which parabolically, metaphorically, is talking about Israel. Yea, have God said, you should not eat of every tree of the garden. And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God has said, you shall not eat of it, neither shall you touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, you shall not surely die. For the heavenly Father Yahweh doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. So that fruit is talking about a false doctrine. And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked. And naked is metaphorically, parabolically, and spiritually talking about sin. And they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. So let's go to Ecclesiasticus, because you have a lot of Israelites that are following after false doctrines. Let's get Ecclesiastes 25 and 24. Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. So sin is transgression of the law. Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. So sin is transgression of the law. So when you go back to 7, and the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked. So, like I said, naked is metaphorically and parabolically talking about sin. Sin came into the world through the woman. Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons, and they heard the voice of the Lord Yahweh, God, walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord Yahweh, God, amongst the trees of the garden. And the Lord Yahweh, God, called unto Adam, and said unto him, where art thou? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked, and I hid myself. So sin came into the world through the woman. So they knew sin. Sin is transgression of the law. And he said, who told thee that thou wast naked? And hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat? And the man said, The woman whom thou gavest to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. Going back to Ecclesiasticus 25 and 24. And the Lord Yahweh, God said unto the woman, which the woman parabolically, metaphorically is talking about Israel. And we're going to prove that in 15. What is this that thou hast done? And the woman said, The serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. And the Lord Yahweh, God said unto the serpent, Because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle and above every beast. And beast is metaphorically, parabolically talking about the heathen nations. So Esau the devil, the Edomites, they would be cursed above every nation, every heathen nation on the earth, and of the field. And the field is talking about the world. Upon thy belly thou shalt go, and the dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. And this is the point. And I'll put enmity between thee and the woman. So the Heavenly Father Yahweh said he was going to put enmity between the serpent Esau and the woman, which represents Israel. And we're going to get that in Genesis 25. And between thy seed and her seed, and it shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. So let's get Genesis 25. To prove that. Genesis 25, and Isaac entreated the Lord Yahweh for his wife, because she was barren, and the Lord Yahweh was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. And the children struggled together within her, and she said, If it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord Yahweh. And the Lord Yahweh said unto her, Two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated. So the Lord Yahweh said that he was going to put enmity between the serpent, which is Esau, and the woman, which represents Israel. We're going to prove that. And the Lord Yahweh said unto her, Two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated. See, separated, enmity from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. So Esau, the Edomites, are going to serve Jacob, the Israelites. This is a future prophecy in the Heavenly Father's kingdom. So let's go back to 15. The Lord Yahweh said, I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed, and it shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. So it's a constant war between Esau and Jacob, because the Heavenly Father Yahweh gave the birthright to Jacob and bypassed Esau. And Esau got very angry at Jacob and wanted to slay Jacob. So we're going to get Revelations 20, because this is prophecy. Revelations 20. Revelations 20, to prove that Esau is a serpent in the garden, the devil. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit, which is Europe, and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold of the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil, which is Esau, the Edomites, and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. So this is talking about the dark ages, when Esau, Edom, was in captivity, and he was in prison in Europe during the dark ages when Jacob, the Israelites, ruled Europe. And Esau, the Edomites, they couldn't go out and to deceive the world, meaning the nations, and cast him into the bottomless pit, Europe, and shut him up and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed a little season. And we are in that little season right now, because America was revived through through the Renaissance. Like the Roman Empire was revived through the Renaissance, which is America. And we are in that little season right now. So let's drop down. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. And Esau, the Edomites, were loosed out of that prison, out of Europe, and went out to deceive the nations through the Renaissance period, because they painted over all the images of the Israelites. So the whole world thinks that the Edomites were primarily Amalek over there in the land of Israel, are the Israelites. And when 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four corners of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather in the battle, and the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. So when you go up, it says, and after that he must be loosed a little season. So we're in that little season. And the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, is gathering these nations for war. And he's going to use Gog and Magog, which is Russia, spoken of Ezekiel 38, to be a safeguard to Persia, which is Iran, Libya, Ethiopia, for World War III. And that's what the Heavenly Father is doing right now. Because you have Iran that attacked Israel. The Israelis over there, Amalekites, they attacked Israel on October 7th, and it's still constant tension between Israel and Iran, because Iran is still accelerating their nuclear program, and they're heavily watching Iran and trying to keep them from building their nuclear program back up, to build nuclear weapons. Do you have Russia and Ukraine at war right now? And that's prophecy, because the Lord said, Yahweh, he said that he was going to put hooks into the jaws of Gog and Magog, which is Russia, which he's doing right now. So let's get 2 Corinthians. But the name of this lesson is Esau, Serpent in the Garden. Esau is the devil, because the Edomites the Edomites, Esau is Edom, that's Genesis 38. The Edomites are trying to establish their new world order. And they're trying to establish a new world order. And they're trying to chip everybody on the entire planet. That's Revelation 13:16. Look at 2 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians 2:11. 2 Corinthians 2:11. That's Ephesians. Go back. And the Heavenly Father Yahweh is gathering these nations for war right now. Pursuant to Ezekiel 38, Jeremiah 50, Jeremiah 51, Joel 2, Isaiah 13, 2 Corinthians 2. But Yahweh Shai is coming back to deliver the elect from Babylon the Great America, which is Revelation 17, during World War III. Because the Heavenly Father is going to have these EU and NATO nations, the beast that's spoken of Revelation 13:16, which is America comprised of the EU and NATO nations. The Heavenly Father is going to have these EU and NATO nations shoot their nuclear missiles over here at Babylon the Great, which is America. Let's get 2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we're not ignorant of his devices. So in the Greek, devices, Satan, which is a spiritual, which is the spiritual counterpart of the demon Satan, which is a man on the earth, which is Esau the Edomites. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And we go into devices, it's talking about wicked plan, wicked scheme, a wicked plan or wicked scheme, which is their new world order, which the Edomites are trying to establish, because they're gradually rolling out their new world order. They already have the infrastructure and the technology in place. You have over there in Sweden, they already have the technology over there in Sweden. They're already getting shipped over there in Sweden. You have a company here in America, in Babylon, Wisconsin, called I think it's called the Third Market Square. And then you have J.P. Morgan, the palm vein technology, and they're rolling. They have rolled out that technology like Whataburger and different restaurants, and you have in Miami the Grand Prix. They already have a coming together party for it, and people was getting the technology, and buying stuff with the palm vein technology. So it's the infrastructure and the technology is already here. It's just being gradually rolled out. But the elect are not ignorant to Satan's devices and what he's doing. And you have the prophets that are prophesying of these prophecies that are coming to pass, and we're warning Israel, primarily the elect of Israel, that are coming back to this truth. So that's all I have for you. Next time I say something.